guys, Caramilla here from Sleep at Last. Welcome to another one of my videos. Please remember to subscribe if you would like to be notified of when I do new videos. So dropping the morning nap is really quite tricky. It's probably the hardest of all the naps to drop. And it's probably because it's the nap that they don't really tend to drop on their own. And if they do drop it on their own, it can sometimes be because they're going through the 12-month regression rather than genuinely not needing this nap. So it's a really tricky one. And also, not only that, but it can be dropped anytime from 12 months through to 18 months. So there's a big window of time where this nap can be dropped. Now, in all the time I've been working as a sleep consultant and all the clients that I've worked with, I've never really seen a 12-13-month-old completely drop the morning nap. It tends to be more kind of like from about 14 months onwards, and I would say usually by the time they're 16 months, it's completely gone. It's very rare to still have a morning nap at 17 months and 18 months, but it can still happen. That can still be the case. So you're looking at about, on average, about 15 months for this nap to be dropped completely. Now, signs that this nap need to be dropped are various. So one of the signs is that they start waking up early from the lunch nap. So they may have previously been doing a solid 1.5 hours, a solid 2 hours, and now all of a sudden you can't seem to get them past sort of an hour or just over an hour. That's one of the signs that you need to either drop the morning nap or cut the morning nap back, because it means that they're just getting too much day sleep overall. Another sign that this nap needs to be dropped are early morning wakes. So if they are waking suddenly at about 5 a.m. and not going back to sleep at all, no matter what you do, and they seem wide awake, it could be that the morning nap is interfering with that. And what's happening there is that they're using that morning nap to catch up on that lost kind of last chunk of morning sleep, and you need to get rid of that morning nap in order to consolidate that last chunk of morning sleep. This is often the case as well if you are giving your child a nap that's really early in the morning. But the difficulty here is if they wake up at 5 a.m, then yeah, they're going to be struggling to keep their eyes open come 8 a.m. But if you let them nap before 9 a.m, that can then reinforce the early morning wake the following morning. So if you are napping them before 9 a.m. and they're having early morning wakes, the first thing I would say is push that morning nap back to 9 a.m. or 9:15, 9:30 and see if that helps. If you're struggling to get them to consolidate their lunch nap, try and cut back the morning nap rather than cut it completely. Cut it back by 10 minutes. See if that then helps them to consolidate the lunch nap. Because often I see people that are giving babies and toddlers a really long morning nap, so like having an hour in the morning, and then wondering why they're not doing a full 2 hours at lunch, and it's because they only need so much day sleep across the day, and you want the bulk of that to be in the middle of the day to help them get through to bedtime. So steal some of that sleep away from the morning nap and put it back in the lunch nap, essentially, if they are napping for more than half an hour in the morning. So if they're over 6 months plus, you're looking for about a 30-minute morning nap. And if they're not having that, if they're having more than that, cut it back to 30 minutes and see if that helps resolve everything. If that doesn't make a difference, and if your little one is it's just turned 12 months or is 12 or 13 months and this has happened suddenly, I would wait a couple of weeks before doing anything and just see if it's a regression, because the 12-month regression can actually cause them to refuse naps and make it think, especially the morning nap, and make it seem as though they don't need that morning nap anymore. And then what happens is you remove it, they come out of the regression, they still needed the morning nap, and now their naps are all over the place and they're massively overtired and you're in a right pickle. So if they're around 12 months and this is sudden, wait it out a couple of weeks and see if they suddenly then start taking the naps and things resolve. If it's been over 2 weeks, yeah, go ahead and cut the morning nap back by 10 minutes and see if that helps. If it doesn't, cut it by another 10 minutes, see if that helps. And if it still doesn't, cut it completely. But give it a week each time. So cut it by 10 minutes, give it 10 minutes, give it a week, 10 minutes, give it a week. So take it slowly and gradually. And then by that time as well, they're sort of every week they're getting older and they're getting more towards the kind of 14-15 month mark where they probably don't need the nap at all anyway. And by that point, what you're ideally you would have them on sort of 10-20 minutes, so that the morning nap is just easier to cut when they get to about 15 months, because they're only having 10 minutes anyway. And it may seem like 10 minutes is ridiculous, because what good is 10 minutes? Like, that's such an effort just to get them down for 10 minutes, because you will have to wake them after 10 minutes and not let them sleep longer. But honestly, treat it as a power nap. That is a power nap to help them get through to their lunch nap, and their lunch nap helps them get through to bedtime. So you're all the time trying to keep on this on top of this overtiredness and trying to avoid an overtired situation. And what can happen with this morning nap and why people get into such difficulty is because they cut it too soon, or they cut it too quickly, and then you're still trying to get your little one down for the lunch nap at the same time, and they won't go down for the lunch nap anymore, and so now they're not getting any naps, and they're sleeping really little, really poorly in the day. They're massively overtired by bedtime, and then you've then got night wakes as well. This is so common. So the best tip I can give you is that once you do cut the morning nap completely, when it is gone and you're confident it's not the regression, and you cut it down slowly, and so now you've cut it back completely and it's gone, you can't expect them to then take their lunch nap at the normal time of like 12 or half 12. They simply will not make it that long. They will be massively overtired if you try and stretch them. Even though they didn't need that morning nap, their awake window still needs time to adjust. So bring the lunch nap forward to as early potentially as 11 o'clock, if that's what it takes, and let them sleep for longer. So this may sound contradict what I've just said, because you're cutting the morning nap and then letting them have a longer lunch nap, but it's all about where the sleep is in the day and what they need. Biologically, they're very tired in the middle of the day, and if they will, and you're putting them down at 11 o'clock, let them sleep longer. So you can let them have 2.5, maybe 3 hours if they will take it, and then put them to bed at the usual time for them, which will vary depending how old they are. Before 18 months, you're looking at about 4 hours awake window from the lunch nap wake to bedtime. And with regards to lunch, etc., try and give them a small lunch if you can before 11 o'clock, but if not, don't worry too much. Give them a snack and then give them something when they wake up after their lunch nap, but try and get some food into them before they go down for that nap at 11 o'clock if you are having to put them down that early. And some babies won't sleep, they won't take 3 hours. So if you put them down at 11, they'll be awake at 1. Which means that bedtime will need to be at 6 o'clock in the evening, which is quite early, I know. And dropping this morning nap can bring the whole day really early. But early bedtimes do not necessarily mean early wake-ups. It's just about managing what they need at that time and keeping on top of overtiredness. And this nap transition, it can be a bit tricky and a bit fiddly, and they can need an earlier lunch nap and an earlier bedtime for a good few weeks before you then start pushing it back. But it's only temporary, so don't think you're stuck with an 11 a.m. 3-hour nap and a 6 o'clock bedtime forever. It's only temporary while they adjust through this transition, because it is a really tricky transition. So I don't expect you to put your baby down at 5 o'clock or 5:30 bedtime either, because I know that is ridiculously early, and that can result, bedtime being that early can result in wakes being earlier. So the earliest I would recommend is 6 p.m, even if that means you go slightly over that 4-hour awake window. They should be okay. And you will, like I say, quickly be able to push that lunch nap back so that they can adjust. So I hope that helps you to avoid the chaos that could be caused by dropping the morning nap. If you like this video, please hit like and remember to subscribe to my channel. Thanks guys, bye.